You know, it sucks that I have to make this video, but the person who's done these things has refused to take accountability, done nothing but double down, and has continued to paint themselves as the victim of my supposed actions. I am making this video because the people who I've talked to have wanted me to talk about this. And if I had a friend who was behaving in this way without me knowing, I would want someone to tell me. I don't want any hate sent towards this person, and if you want to continue being friends with them, I've got literally no objections at all, and I mean that sincerely. But this person is generally regarded as being very nice, and that's why when they came out with this, people believed them very quickly. And so I need to address this. I'm also making this video as a defense against lies. This person very clearly has absolutely no regret and no remorse and seems to genuinely think the things that they are saying. And they've already come out with these lies a couple of times now, and I'm scared that it's going to get to a place where I'm not able to address it. I feel the need to preemptively talk about this because it could become more harmful in the future. This video is not an attack on Rocket, but rather a defense against Rocket and their malicious spreading of lies to personally attack me. So let's nip this in the bud as swiftly as possible without sacrificing the truth. Rocket is just a person in the tally hole community who messages around in servers and stuff. Our first contact was when they made some art in my server, which I thought was really cool. And this was during the time when I was actively gathering artists to help design stickers and other products. So I asked them if I could pay them for some art, and they said no for a few reasons, and so I respected that. But I do have a server which is a small community of the artists that I've talked to. And while we do talk about making product, it's mostly just like a group chat where people talk to each other. And everyone on there is genuinely so kind and mature, so I invited them to the server in case they wanted to join, which they did. Now this isn't the main issue, but whilst they were there, they did say a lot of things that made people uncomfortable. They were frequently very political and very passive aggressive, but they also talked a lot about their poor mental health. And so many in the server wanted to keep Rocket there so that they could support them. We were Rocket's friends for that period of time, and some still are. And then I started talking about wanting to make posters as well as just stickers, which turned into them offering me to make a poster for me. And because they had previously said that they weren't going to do anything like that, I thought this was really great news, and so I said yes. So we discussed payment, and they insisted that I don't pay them until they turn 18, which is in 2 years' time. And while this was a little bit strange, I know I'm responsible with my money, and I know I would be able to pay them whenever they asked for it. And so that's when the designing of the poster started. And now moving forward, I want you to keep in mind the main things that they wanted to share about me. They claimed that I used their labor without proper compensation, mistreated them and my other artists, and maliciously coerced or led them into a private server. So let's go through what happened. According to Rocket, what turned this sour was me improperly communicating what I wanted for the background of the poster. This is categorically untrue. What turned this sour was Rocket consistently and repeatedly ignoring my requests. I gave the majority of creative freedom to them because they are the artists and I respect that. But almost all of the changes that I requested were either completely ignored or even argued against. And here's some of the many examples. And even if the background was the issue, they stated that all I told them was half and half. This is also untrue. I said from the start that I wanted the background to be the sky, half night and half day. Rocket knows that this is completely false because I did correct them on multiple occasions. But my corrections were never taken on board because they thought that they knew better. And this is just disrespectful at best. In the post, Rocket also said this. And this just goes to show that they really believed that they deserved every ounce of my attention just because I thought they were good at art. Being ignored for 10 minutes is a joke. I have a life and this is not a valid criticism. And this theme of them not listening to me or the advice of the other artists continued until the piece was finished. And the final piece was not what I wanted because they didn't listen to me. I even at one point said I do not want that, and they completely ignored it. And this was at the point where they managed to somehow twist the characters of Mr. Sun and Mr. Moon into lesbian lovers. And this is just a testament to the fact that they did not make this art for me. They were injecting their own personal interpretations with a complete disregard for what I actually wanted. And a disregard for the fact that I was going to be paying for it. Here's more examples of Rocket not taking advice. Here's examples of Rocket being argumentative. And here's the point where I realized things weren't going to go anywhere. Please pause to read this. And at this point, it shouldn't really surprise you that they never took accountability for any of the things that I said in that message. And in fact, in their response, the literal first thing that they told me was that one of my requests for the poster, quote, wasn't the right way to go, which did nothing but prove me right. They then said that they were fine not being paid, which by the way, I didn't bring up at all, and said that at the end of the day, it was my loss. This was an incredibly ignorant response and to me was the end of our work relationship. But then a few days later, they sent this message including a work in progress for another version of the poster. After literal days, I responded in less than 10 hours. Not to mention that they messaged at 2 o'clock in the morning for me. And I think it's just crazy how easy this is to disprove and yet they still included it. This was their final response and my final response. Please pause to read these. At the end of the day, they were never able to take accountability for the fact that they were in the wrong. They left that server and my public Discord server and I didn't hear from them again. But of course it gets so much worse. Because yesterday in my channel in Project YBTFC's server, they sent a Tumblr post that they had made. I saw the post and I read it and I was genuinely disgusted because it was just full of lies. And I said this and this was their response. They then talked to a couple of other people in that channel about me and they were on the side of Rocket, because why wouldn't they be? Rocket's Tumblr post was very cut and dry, and you wouldn't expect someone to just lie. But whatever the reason, they did. And even though they provided no screenshots, no receipts, no accounting from others, and no proof, I knew people would still believe it. So I sent a plethora of messages and screenshots and basically just said what I've said in this video so far. I provided proof of my claims and showed that Rocket was in the wrong. Not only at the time, but also now by making a ridiculous false call-out post. If this had to be done, I would have much preferred it to be done in private. But they made it public, and that's on them. I will say that one of the messages in this screenshot has been deleted, and that was my message showing many of the weird DMs that Rocket has sent me over the months. But one of the messages had included a selfie that they had sent me saying I thought I looked cute today or something like that. And at the time I had completely forgotten that Rocket said that they didn't want their face public, and that's completely on me, so I deleted the message and apologized. But anyways, this was their initial response, and it's a whole lot of the same stuff from before. And as the conversation progressed, they kept insisting that the things that they had claimed in the Tumblr post were true, even though I had just proven them all false. And I'll be honest, I got kind of mad. They had directly attacked me with lies and mischaracterization. And they also continuously act like a victim, which I didn't like at all because they had just attacked me for nothing. A few more messages were exchanged in that channel with the consensus being 100% against Rocket. But then they started making even more claims, and they began suggesting that I'd maliciously led them into a private server, which forced me to drop yet another bombshell. More like inviting you to a server full of like-minded artists, a nice community, and opportunities to be paid for your art. I did you a favor as you stated in this IRL letter that you sent to my house. Here's the letter if you want to read it. What I will say is that they did ask me if they could send me this letter, and while I wasn't super comfortable with it, I did say yes. I said yes because it seemed important to them, and they non-stop talked about how much this server had helped their mental health. I guess I just felt as though I should say yes. But I need to let you know that this request was made after multiple days of them messaging me and me not answering. Like many of the DMs that I was sent, this was not a professional or appropriate request to make. And so then back in Project Server, after realizing that they weren't going to win, they ended up leaving the server, before submitting a final message through the DMs of another person. Here's what they said. It says that we turned on them, they continued to act like a victim, and blame us for not believing them. Not a single fraction of accountability was taken for sending a barrage of lies against me and my artists and friends. Rocket was a huge dick. Not only were they incredibly disrespectful to me and others whilst making the poster, but the audacity to then make a huge call-out post where they pretend to be a victim and spread lies and insults about me for their own personal gain was just a step too far. Look, Rocket, I don't think you're a bad person, but you've been acting like a bad person for way too long now. You had plenty of time to reflect on what happened or move on like we did, but you chose to double down months later and make a post that wasn't only not necessary but was also provably false. And I gotta tell you that I wish it ended here, but it doesn't. I DM'd Rocket asking them to take the post down because it's not right. In return, they asked me to delete all the screenshots that I had took, which I said no to, obviously, and then they did actually delete the post, but there's still more to this video. After messaging the artists involved and talking to the people on my server, people generally thought that I should talk about this, but a lot of people also thought that it was better for me to leave it, and that I should only talk about it if they tried to spread these lies again. Well, guess what? They made another post. They don't name me, apparently because they don't want to deal with the same bullshit again. And by bullshit, they mean me correcting their lies. But this is about me in the exact same situation as before, showing yet again that they have took no accountability for what they have done and doubling down on the fact that they think they are in the right. So you know what, Rocket? If you want to be unbelievably disrespectful to me, after I maturely dealt with you spreading unbelievable lies and insults towards me, then this time round, I'm not going to be objective anymore. I'm going to be honest and emotional. And genuinely, you can ask any single person that knows me, I'm usually a really chill guy. I mean, Project herself has made many posts about me being too chill, but if there's one thing that really pisses me off, it's lies. And so if you direct that towards me and the people that I care about, then that's too far. A private artist server that was made specifically for making merchandise. Literally nobody sees it like that apart from you. We were all unbelievably supportive and there was always someone there to listen to you, so fuck you for turning that against us. But despite that, he invited me again. And I've only ever sent you one invite, so I've got no idea what this is about. YouTuber you like invites you into a private server, obviously that person thinks you're cool or special, so what would you do? Stop trying to make it seem like I manipulated you into this. I invited you into a server full of artists for you to share your art, nothing else. Even the others in the server were initially confused to why I was there, because if I wasn't going to make stickers, then what was I here for? And this is just a fucking lie. Nobody was confused, Rocket. You're an artist in an artist server. It's pretty obvious. Another few months went by and I became great friends with everybody in there. Yes, that's exactly my point. Literally months went by without me ever suggesting that you did any art for me because you had previously said no, and I respected that. But it did not make me deserve what happened to me. Nothing happened to you, Rocket. Holy shit. After a while, he basically sought to ask me to do a print. It wasn't directed at me, but I was helping someone else brainstorm, I'm pretty sure, and the request was implied to be aimed at me. And this is just not true. You even admitted in your original post that you suggested this to me. And that whole directed at me thing is bullshit and you know it. And once I'd actually finished, he said I did it wrong. No, Rocket, I didn't say that. But even if I did, I would still be in the right because you did get it wrong. You ignored my multiple requests about the background and argued with me and other artists who were just trying to give you advice. Just like you'd been doing the entire project. I had no clue what I did wrong. I told you explicitly and kindly many times what you had done wrong. I was incredibly professional throughout the whole process and made sure everything he approved of. This is categorically bullshit. He disregarded me on pretty much everything. That's fucking ironic. During that time, my mental health was getting noticeably worse because of the situation. Okay, how about we stop weaponizing mental health, because that's not okay. I'm not gonna be guilt-tripped into not calling you out for your bullshit, Rocket. And like I said, the entire server was unimaginably supportive about your problems. So yeah, fuck you for turning that against us. And remember how I said that they ended up leaving Project YBTFC's server? Well, in this post, they claimed that I got them harassed out of it, as if it was my fault for correcting their manipulation and lies. The only logical explanation for inviting me was to try to get me immersed in the community, and then because of that immersion, start making art for him. Okay, how the actual hell have you turned me inviting you into a good community full of good people into a bad thing? Essentially making me look like a crazy loon. I can't keep... See, now this one's funny because I only ever showed screenshots of your actual messages. So if you think you ended up looking like a crazy loon, that's because you made yourself look that way. He doesn't understand the power even a small amount of fame grants you. But apparently not enough power to get you to make the background a fucking sky! Okay, look, that's where my script ends. I really didn't want to have to make a thing about this because I don't want to harm Rocket's mental health. But I cannot describe to you the amount of sympathy that I have lost for this person. They have consistently, over months, not gave a shit about the things that anyone else has been saying. They have only wanted support and we've offered it until the world's end. But the second we get into a situation where I need to look out for myself because I'm paying them to do something, they twist me into a villain with just literal lies. They have been unbelievably manipulative to everybody who's talked to them, and just unimaginably disrespectful to me. And I mean it when I say that I could go on talking about the shit that they've done for literally hours. And you know what, that's fine, I don't give a shit. But you have publicly attacked me and that's just not chill. So yeah, Rocket, it's your fault that it's come to this. Many people have told you to just drop it, and yet here we are where I feel the need to defend myself to make this whole long video about you that I did not want to make. Didn't need to be this big of a deal, it's sad that it's come to this, but I don't trust that you would have stopped. We didn't even go a full day from me asking you to delete the post, you saying yes, and then you making another one. And you can't just treat people like this. You can't just lie to all your friends. Everybody I've spoken to in the server about you seem to think that you're a really nice person because that's how you act. And that's what makes it so much worse when you just lie to everybody and insult me over nothing. So yeah, I don't even know what to say to end this video. I feel like I've gone over most things. Ask me what you want to ask me in the comments. I will try to elaborate more as much as I can in every way. And fuck me, this was not an easy video to make. I've got to tell you, I didn't think it would be this difficult. But yeah, this is the last time I'm being emotional ever again. Just kidding. If someone attacks me like that again, they're getting fucked. Just don't do anything crazy, Rocket. Please, okay? Look after yourself. Take a break off the internet. Please, for the love of God, you need it. And if you made it this far into the video, then you must really care. So that actually means a lot to me. So yeah, thanks. I'm sure I've said a lot of things that are bad out of context, and they'll probably be on Twitter, but you know what? It's okay. I don't even trust anyone over there anymore. Love you all. Have a great day. I'll see you later. Fucking hell. I don't want to press... I'm gonna press it.